Tosh speaks on CBA negotiations. Pay the players. For real. Let's listen to this. Before we even do, let me set this up real quick with Chick Stick Scar's comment right here. We're gonna go to the comments first. Dude is breathtakingly retarded. Oh goodness. I'm not sure I've come across a lower IQ in my life. Oh man. Maybe I did like it, man. Dude. We got a Tropic Thunder clip. She needs to shut up. Yes, you dummy. This is what you asked. Oh god. Comments are relentless.
That right there is what desperation looks like. Natasha Cloud, sitting in her car, recording a TikTok rant about CBA negotiations that she legally cannot discuss because she signed an NDA. And yet here she is, dropping F-bombs and making hand gestures about revenue splits she's contractually obligated to keep confidential. Someone check on this woman, because what we're witnessing is a complete meltdown built on a foundation that doesn't exist.
Relentless. Let's take a listen.
Us, this is what we're expected to get because we have to split that. Fucking sense does that make? What is? No, I'll be damned. I will be damned.
Yeah.
Because I've played in this league since 2015. I'm going into year 11. And from the time that I came into this league until now, we have fucking blown the roof off the bitch. We have blown it. We have blown it off the bitch. You could go back a few years ago and
Notice the language. We have blown the roof off the bitch. We. As in Natasha Cloud and her teammates who've been in the league since 2015. Here's the problem with that statement. From 2015, when Cloud entered the league, until 2023, the WNBA didn't have a single game reach 1 million viewers. Not one. Not during Breanna Stewart's entire career. Not during Aja Wilson's MVP seasons. Not during Natasha Cloud's championship run in 2019. The league was hemorrhaging attendance, losing nearly 2,000 fans per game on average between 2005 and 2018. So when exactly did we blow the roof off anything?
Now, if anybody asks you, hey, what does the typical WNBA player act like, sound like, think like, talk like? Just pull up this video. Just show them the first few minutes of that clip. That's all you got to do. Pull up this video, and if I had to close my eyes, right, before I was proven correct, right? If I had to close my eyes before entering this space, be like, a WNBA player. Let me think.
Let's talk about those attendance numbers she's so proud of. In 2015, Cloud's rookie season, the WNBA averaged around 7,300 fans per game. By 2018, that number had dropped to 6,600. The league was in a death spiral. Year after year of declining interest, shrinking viewership, and teams playing in half-empty arenas. Then something changed in 2024. Attendance jumped to 9,807 fans per game. By 2025, it hit 10,000 for the first time in over a decade. What happened? Did Natasha Cloud suddenly learn a new move? Did the league change its marketing strategy? No. Caitlin Clark showed up. The numbers don't lie. From 2008 to 2023, 15 years without a million viewer game. Then Clark's rookie season begins, and suddenly the league has multiple games breaking that barrier. Her second season, even more. This isn't coincidence. This is one player dragging an entire league into relevance.
Natasha Cloud. Oh, Natasha. Talks about the uptick. Well, when I first got into the league in 2015, compared to where we are now, we've gone light years, especially over the last few years. Well, Natasha, I wonder what happened, right? We go to 2015 when you were in this league. You got no games with a million viewers in 2015 and 2016 and 2017 and 2018 and 2019 and 2020 and 2021 and 2022 and 2023. No million viewed games your whole entire existence in the WNBA. Not only your entire existence, Fee's entire existence, Breanna Stewart's entire existence, Kelsey Plum's entire existence, Chelsea Gray's entire existence. The names go on and on and on and on. And their entire existence playing in the league, no million views.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Cloud says, a few years ago, the players understood they weren't there yet, so they took the short end of the stick on revenue sharing. She's talking about the 2020 CBA negotiations. Back then, the players agreed to a structure where they received roughly 9.3% of total league revenue because everyone understood the league was barely profitable. The NBA was subsidizing operations. Teams were losing money. Nobody had leverage. Fast forward to 2025, and suddenly, Cloud thinks the players deserve something closer to the NBA's 50% revenue split. Except she admits they're not even asking for 50%. So what are they asking for? Based on her hand gestures in that car, it looks like somewhere around 30%, and the league is apparently offering something significantly lower, which has her losing her mind on social media. But here's the critical question nobody's asking. Why do these players suddenly have leverage now? What changed between 2020 and 2025 that makes Cloud think she can demand triple the revenue share?
In fact, no million viewed games since 2008. I believe that was Candace Parker's first game of her rookie season. But what happened in 2024? Oh, that's right, Caitlin Clark showed up. Oh, what a shock. What happened in 2025? Oh, that's right, her second season. Oh, wow, magnificent. So in other words, the uptick is directly tied to a certain somebody joining this league. Interesting. Not an Asia Wilson joining this league, great player, but not because of her. Not Fee joining this league, very great player, not because of her. But because of Cece, this video right here of Natasha Cloud ranting and raving and rambling on is proof that they only think that they have this type of leverage because Caitlin Clark showed up.
I will be damned, because I've played in this league since 2015.
One player. That's what changed. And it's not Natasha Cloud. Look at the timeline. Cloud entered the league in 2015. For 8 consecutive seasons, the league went nowhere. Viewership stagnant, attendance declining, no cultural momentum. Then Caitlin Clark's junior year at Iowa starts generating massive buzz in 2023. Her senior year in 2024 becomes a phenomenon. She gets drafted, and suddenly, the WNBA has its first million viewer games in 16 years. Her rookie season sets attendance records. Her second season expands the audience even further. This isn't about the league collectively building something over time. This is about one generational talent creating value that didn't exist before. And now players like Natasha Cloud, who spent a decade in obscurity, want to claim credit for growth they had nothing to do with. We blew the roof off the bitch. No, Natasha. Caitlin Clark blew the roof off. You just happened to still be in the building when it happened.
Attendance numbers for the WNBA. Sorry you can't see my wonderful face. I apologize. You go to the average regular season attendance. Go to year 2 in the league, 10,000 average. Year 3 in the league, 10,000 average. Year 4, 9,000. Year 5, 9,000. Year 6, 9,000. And then the clear fall off a cliff happens. From 2005, all the way down here to 2018, it loses nearly 2,000 average attendance members. 2,000 average attendance members. Then Caitlin Clark comes back, and it jumps from 6,600 all the way back up to 9,807 to where we are now at 10,000 average attendance.
The attendance data tells the complete story. Year 2 of the WNBA in 1998, the league averaged 10,000 fans per game. By year 6 in 2002, it had dropped to 9,000. Then the collapse began. From 2005 to 2018, attendance fell off a cliff, bottoming out at 6,600 fans per game. The league was dying. Not struggling, dying. For Natasha Cloud's entire career from 2015 to 2023, she played in a league that was contracting its audience year after year. Teams were folding. The NBA was covering losses. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert was scrambling to find investors willing to keep the league afloat. And then Caitlin Clark arrived, and attendance jumped 3,400 fans per game in 2 seasons. That's a 51% increase directly tied to one player's arrival. So when Cloud sits in her car talking about how we built this, what she's really saying is, Caitlin Clark built this, and now I want my cut, which would be fine if she just admitted it. But instead, we get this performance about how the players have been grinding for years and finally deserve their piece. The only reason there's a piece worth fighting for is because of someone who wasn't even in the league during Cloud's supposed grind.
So again, I'll say this. Since you joined the league was going nowhere. Right up until Caitlin Clark joined the league was going nowhere. Right up until Caitlin Clark's junior year, the league was going nowhere. The league was getting ready to close down. But now Caitlin Clark showed up. You guys get some games. You guys get some viewership. You guys get some attendance. You guys get some buzz. You get some excitement, some conversation around the league. And now you think you can start demanding 30% of league revenue. Someone make sure Natasha Cloud is okay. That's all I'm asking. Just make sure Natasha Cloud is okay. Like the video, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel.
And now Cloud wants to negotiate with Adam Silver and Kathy Engelbert like she has leverage, like the league needs her. Here's the reality. If Natasha Cloud retired tomorrow, would WNBA attendance drop? Would viewership decline? Would anyone outside of hardcore fans notice? The answer is no. But if Caitlin Clark left the league, it would collapse back to 2023 levels within a season. Everyone knows this. The players know it. The league knows it. The fans definitely know it. This is why Cloud's rant is so revealing. She's not arguing from a position of strength. She's arguing from fear. Fear that the league will recognize what's actually happening and structure the next CBA accordingly. Fear that Caitlin Clark will get a disproportionate share of revenue because she's generating a disproportionate share of value. Fear that veterans like Cloud will be exposed as passengers on a rocket ship they didn't build. So let's break down what's really happening with these CBA negotiations, because Natasha Cloud's car rant reveals way more than she intended. The current CBA, signed in 2020, gives WNBA players roughly 9.3% of league revenue. That's significantly lower than the NBA's 50% split, which Cloud mentions in her video. But there's a reason for that massive gap. The NBA generates about $10 billion in annual revenue and has been profitable for decades. The WNBA generates roughly $200 million and has never turned a profit in its 28-year history. The NBA subsidizes WNBA operations to the tune of tens of millions per year. Those are fundamentally different financial situations. Now the players want to renegotiate. Based on Cloud's hand gestures and the way she talks about the league's offer being disgusting, it appears the WNBA is offering somewhere in the low teens percentage-wise, maybe 12 to 15%. The players seem to be asking for something closer to 30%. That's a massive gap. And the league is apparently not budging, which is why we're seeing public meltdowns like this. But here's what makes this negotiation fascinating. The players' entire leverage argument is based on recent growth. Cloud specifically says, "From the time I came into this league until now, we have blown the roof off." She's pointing to 2024 and 2025 numbers as proof that the players deserve more. Attendance up, viewership up, merchandise sales up, corporate sponsorships increasing, all true, except that growth isn't evenly distributed. It's not like every team saw a 30% attendance increase. It's not like every player's jersey sales went up proportionally. The growth is almost entirely concentrated around one player and the teams she plays against. Caitlin Clark's games average significantly higher viewership than games she's not involved in. Her jersey outsells the rest of the league combined. Arenas sell out when her team visits in a way they don't for other matchups. So the league is sitting across the negotiating table from players like Natasha Cloud, who are demanding 30% of revenue based on growth they didn't create. And the league knows it. Adam Silver knows it. Kathy Engelbert knows it. The team owners definitely know it, which puts them in an incredibly awkward position. If they give the players what they're asking for, they're essentially rewarding everyone for one person's value creation. That's not sustainable. It creates a situation where Caitlin Clark is generating massive revenue, the league is paying it out to all players equally through the CBA structure, and Clark herself might start wondering why she's not getting a bigger piece of what she's creating. That's a recipe for disaster. But if the league holds firm and offers only a modest increase, the players will revolt. They'll see the revenue growth. They'll see the sold-out arenas. They'll see the new TV deals and corporate sponsorships. And they'll feel like they're getting screwed, even though most of them aren't responsible for any of it. That's also a recipe for disaster. This is why Natasha Cloud is ranting in her car. She knows the league has her over a barrel. She can't publicly say, "We deserve more money because Caitlin Clark showed up and made the league relevant." That would undermine the entire argument that veteran players built this. So instead, she has to talk in vague terms about we and us and how we blew the roof off, without acknowledging who actually did the work. And the NDA she signed makes this even more complicated. She legally cannot discuss the specific numbers being offered or demanded. So she's out here making hand gestures and talking around the actual figures while trying to build public pressure on the league to give players more. It's a desperation move. When you're sitting in your car recording TikTok rants about negotiations you can't legally discuss, you've already lost the argument. Think about the position this puts Caitlin Clark in. She's the reason these negotiations are even happening. If she hadn't shown up and transformed the league's financial picture, the players would still be stuck with the 2020 CBA structure for years. But now her presence has created this fight, and she's watching veterans like Cloud try to claim credit for growth they had nothing to do with. How does that sit with her? Does she stay quiet and let the union negotiate on her behalf, knowing she's subsidizing players who resent her, or does she eventually start demanding individual treatment that reflects her actual value? The WNBA has never had to deal with this before. They've never had a player so far above the rest in terms of value creation that it breaks the traditional union structure. In the NBA, you have multiple superstars generating massive value, so the 50% revenue split makes sense. Everyone's contributing at a high level. But in the WNBA right now, you have one player creating the majority of new value and 40+ other players trying to negotiate as if they're all equally responsible. That's not going to work long term. At some point, the league will have to acknowledge that Caitlin Clark deserves different treatment. Maybe that's a separate marketing deal. Maybe that's a supermax contract structure. Maybe that's revenue sharing tied to individual performance metrics. But the current system, where Cloud can sit in her car and talk about we as if she's equally responsible for growth, is unsustainable. And here's the thing about beat reporters and analysts who cover this league. They all see what's happening. They all know the numbers. They all understand that this growth is Clark-specific, not league-wide. But many of them won't say it publicly because they don't want to alienate the other players. They don't want to be accused of creating division or undermining the collective. So we get these carefully worded articles about rising tide lifts all boats, and the league's growth benefits everyone, without acknowledging the obvious truth that one boat has a motor, and the rest are drifting along behind it. Natasha Cloud's rant is what happens when that reality becomes impossible to ignore. She's been in the league for a decade, she's won a championship, she's a solid player, and none of it mattered for league growth until someone else showed up. That's a hard pill to swallow. So instead of swallowing it, she's out here making TikToks about how we deserve more, hoping nobody notices that we didn't do anything until Caitlin Clark arrived. The next few months are going to be fascinating. Either the league caves and gives players like Cloud what they want, which sets up future problems with Clark, or the league holds firm, which might lead to labor action. Or they find some middle ground that satisfies nobody but keeps everyone playing. None of those outcomes are great, but one thing is certain, this CBA negotiation is happening because of Caitlin Clark. The leverage exists because of Caitlin Clark. The revenue growth is because of Caitlin Clark. And watching Natasha Cloud try to claim credit for it while sitting in her car, violating her NDA, ranting about percentages she can't legally discuss, is one of the most revealing moments of this entire saga. So the question becomes, was this TikTok worth it? Did Natasha Cloud accomplish anything other than making herself look desperate and exposing the weakness of the players' negotiating position? Because from where I'm sitting, all she did was prove that the veterans know they don't actually have the leverage they're pretending to have. And that's not a strong place to negotiate from. Drop a comment and let me know. Do WNBA players deserve 30% of league revenue based on growth they didn't create? Or should Caitlin Clark get a completely separate deal that reflects her actual value? Because you can't have it both ways. Someone's getting paid what they're worth, and someone's getting overpaid. Which side are you on?